you were here previously, you were one of the holdovers in the staff, and this isn't a question to disparage the previous staff or anything like that, but what were some of the immediate noticeable differences to you that gave you the indication that this thing was turning quickly in the right direction?
Well, just the energy from the players. I think every program is built on the attitude of the players. It all starts with their energy, and they came in and they welcomed the change. Coach Brown's energy was great and matched theirs, and so far they've been having a really great attitude toward everything that Coach Brown wants this program to be. And I think they came here because they wanted to have a chance to make this place great. And obviously with Coach Brown's energy and vision, those guys have taken off. We had a really good spring.
Jonathan Alexander with the News and Observer. You had one of the most productive units last year. So with the new offense that focuses mainly on passing, how do you keep that up?
Well, I tell you what, I think there's a misconception of the air raid. People talk about that, they see air. To me, air is space, and that's what it does. I mean, this offense creates space. Coach Longo talks about it all the time, is that we want the defenses to have to defend the entire field. And, the fact that we will throw the ball over your heads will take those safeties out of the box. And those running backs understand that's one less guy that have to make miss. So, those guys have embraced it because of the space that it creates in this offense. And also, those guys are weapons out of the backfield catching the ball. So it's not a negative to catch the ball. If you look at the NFL, that's what people do now. Those premier backs are catching 70, 80 balls a season. So I think the backs have been excited about the opportunities and space that they'll have in this offense.
What do you think has contributed to Javonte Williams' growth this spring?
Confidence. Javonte's a humble kid. Everything about his recruiting process tells you his story. He was a patient kid, waited his time, and last year he waited. And some of the conversations we've had so far is don't wait anymore. Have confidence in yourself that you are a good player, that you deserve to be here. You are an ACC back. And I think he's taking that confidence that he built on the last part of the season, and he was able to have a really good spring.
What do you like about Javonte physically and what he brings to the running back position? It seems like he was getting a lot of buzz in the spring and had a good game.
He's a physical player. He's a physical player. He put on 10 pounds in the off season, within a few months, and he's still, probably the strongest guy in the room. Very smart, very detailed, but he catches the ball well. He runs the ball well. He has great pad level. He's a dominant blocker. So he's just a complete back. So everything for him is going to get better and better as he gets reps. So this spring was great. His teammates respect him, and they know he's a guy that he can be the one. Called upon at any moment, he can be the guy to take over the game. So excited about him.
Sorry, how do you see that room shaking out with Carter, Antonio, and Javonte? How do you split reps, and how do you see that kind of depth chart working?
You know what? Great group of guys. Very unselfish group. And I challenge those guys. I want one of you to pull away from the other. Create some separation. And I think this spring they did. I think they all do something different. Mike Carter's an explosive guy that catches the ball, but he also runs well, breaks tackles. Antonio did a better job of lowering his pads, finishing his runs, picking up his feet in the holes. And obviously, Javonte's a guy that was able to do a little bit of both, power, speed. So it's a long season. It's a long grind. Coach Longo has talked about, that being a room that we want to try to do multiple things with, probably getting some more two-back in the offense to get those guys on the field at the same time. So it's a long season. Injuries happen, but I think that this offense is big enough to get all those guys a chance to display their skill set.
How does losing Jordan Brown affect the running backs?
You know what? Jordan was a great guy for the room, for the unit. He was such a big help for me being a new coach coming in last year. Just from a knowledge standpoint, very unselfish player. We hated to see him go, but obviously he had to do what he felt was best for him. It doesn't hurt us in a sense. It just creates opportunities for those guys to get more reps and play more. So again, I think him leaving was a big blow for the team, but as a unit, I think some of those guys getting more reps allowed them to grow in the last part of the spring.
If there is such a
British
thing,
Brooks story, where did British come from? It looks like he had a pretty productive spring.
Yeah, he did. British is a great story. He's a kid that could have took some scholarship offers to some other places, but decided he wanted to come here and walk on. And you know, those walk-ons take a different path. You know, you have to be a little bit tougher. You got to put your ego aside, and he did that from day one. And I think he's earned a voice. You know, he's a quiet kid, but he's worked so hard without saying one word that he's earned the respect of his teammates. And he's a great energy for the running back room. He's a phenomenal player on special teams. You know, for him to be able to be someone that the new staff has learned and trust to put in some special team situations, and for us as an offense to allow him to go in the game and play and not worry about it says a lot about that kid. So very excited for him and the role that he'll play next season.
If there is a perfect back for air raid offense, how close is Michael Carter to being that guy?
You know, Mike is you know, very strong, powerful runner. He can pass protect. I think that's the part that surprises you, is that when you put the film on, he's probably one of the best blockers because he's so low, plays with his hands, and he's strong. You know, so Mike does a lot of things out of the backfield that you want to do with a guy in this offense. He can catch the swing passes, the check downs, and create explosive plays, but he's also a guy that you can line up in the slot to do some different things. So, you know, I think Mike is going to have a chance to have a big year in this offense.
Coach Brewster was talking a little bit about recruiting with you and Coach Stickby and being the holdovers from the light staff. Has recruiting North Carolina changed for you in your position?
It has. You know, it all started with Coach Brown. You know, a lot of the high school coaches have been here for a long time, you know, and they take pride in, you know, the football players that they produce. And even if that coach wasn't coaching at the time, his uncle or his dad was. So now that Coach Brown's back, all these coaches want to be able to say that they're sending a player from their school to play for Coach Brown again. So, you know, just taking him into school in December and January, it was a great vibe. They were very welcoming, excited for the direction of the program because the coaches want their players to be able to stay home. And the fact that he's back, I think they have a more comfortable feeling of sending their kids here to play at Carolina again. So it's been great. Looking forward to getting on the road here in the next few days to continue that buzz.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago, to focus on Michael Carter again, a couple of weeks ago we were interviewing Matt Brown after practice, and he singled out two guys that he said when he first got here he asked about, and that was Malik Carty and Michael. What is it about Michael that attracts like a Hall of Fame coach like that and single him out like that and ask about him so early on?
You can feel Mike's energy when he walks in the room. He may be one of the smallest guys on the team, but he's a guy that not only wants to make himself better, but he wants everyone around him to be better. You know, one of the things we've been talking about is how can you be the one? And Mike's answer is, I want to be the one because I want to work so hard that I can do my job at a high level, but also bring on someone else to try to get to my level. And I think that says it all about him. He's an ultimate teammate. He wants to compete and be the best he can be, but he also wants everyone around him to get to the same level of working hard, the commitment to the program, and just being unselfish. So he's just a guy. You don't have to point him out and say, hey, that's our leader. He just does it when he walks in the room. So excited to see what kind of season he has this year.
Got time for one more?
What statistics will be important in grading this offense next fall, and how does that change from how you grade it for Florida?
Wins. And that's the name of the game. We want to do whatever we have to do every week to win a game. You know, so I don't think you can, you know, talk about how many yards in one category. You know, we have to obviously take care of the football, take care of the quarterback. And if you do those things, I think you take care of the important things, which is winning football games. And that's what this place deserves, to win.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.